Hi, I'm Dan Gable with Shore Murphy and Associates of Casey, and this is another episode of Big Agent in a Small Town. Today, we're going to talk about a really important insurance coverage for manufacturing businesses, and that's what's called business income and extra expense coverage. So, first, what is business income and extra expense coverage? And this will be a general overview of coverages and things I'm talking about here. Or for specific coverage, definitely refer to your own commercial insurance policy, because all insurance policies, language, and everything may differ a little bit as well too. But for a general overview of what business income and extra expense coverage is the coverage comes into play when your business has a property claim. So think of something catastrophic like a fire, tornado, that completely wipes out your manufacturing business where you're going to have a long downtime. So the first part of the coverage, business income, is going to cover your business's loss of income during the period while your business is completely or partially shut down. Extra expense is going to cover extra expenses to help get your business up and running more quickly, because obviously you're going to incur some extra expenses, want to get things running more quickly. So an important distinction also is what is not covered on business income and extra expense. So basically, to trigger a business income and extra expense claim, there normally has to be some kind of property damage claim on the insurance policy. So things that would not be covered by business income and extra expense would be things like supply chain issues that might hold up your business, or let's say that you have a large customer who goes out of business or severely cuts back their order, or those kind of income losses would not be covered on business income and extra expense coverage. So first, why is extra expense coverage important? And again, let's go back to the scenario of where there's a fire or that was a total loss, and the business has to get started up. And let's say that next week you were scheduled to start production on a large order or for your largest customer. Well, obviously, getting back up and running as soon as possible so you can get started on that order is going to be of the utmost importance. So with extra expense coverage, that could cover things like renting a temporary building for your manufacturing operation while your current building was being repaired or rebuilt. Also expediting shipping on replacement equipment, parts, things like that. Basically everything you would need to get it back up and running sooner or in business, and any extra expenses you would incur from that. The business income coverage, why that is important, is let's say that you had just literally started a large order the day this fire occurred, and there's no possible way that you can meet the deadline of when your largest customer, in fact, is going to need this order. So you've lost out on substantial business income. The business income portion of the policy is going to provide coverage for that loss of income during that time when you're out of business. So it can be the difference of whether you can stay in business or not after a large claim, like we're talking about here. So then the last question, how much business income and extra expense coverage is needed? If you're what would be considered a smaller manufacturer by most insurance companies, let's say $10 to $15 million in revenue or less. The good thing is a lot of times you can get what's called business income and extra expense coverage, actual loss sustained. What that does is that provides you business income and extra expense coverage until your business is fully back up and running, or 12 months, whichever comes later. So that's something that if you can get that coverage, I highly recommend in going with that option if you are on the smaller spectrum of manufacturing businesses. If you would be considered a mid-sized or larger manufacturing business, it's going to be a little more complicated than that. For one, you have to think of what's the longest time period that your business could be impacted by a large claim, like a fire tornado, let's say in this example, and what would be your potential loss of income and extra expense. And basically, you take what that possible loss could be over the time period of the longest time you could be out of business or your business impacted, and use that to figure out what the right coverage amount would be. The most important part of that when figuring out the right coverage would be to work with an experienced insurance agent, and they can help go through things with you so you are comfortable knowing that you have the right coverage for that. If you have any questions about your manufacturing business insurance and would like to talk to me, please reach out by phone or text at 217-932-2267 or by email to Dan, D-A-N, at shoremurphycasey, SHOREMURPHYCASEY.com. Thank you.